That song. I feel that I have heard it in the past. Actually, it is not that I have heard it. Did I once sing that song to someone? No, there's more. I wrote this song. Oh, but how could that be so? If that were true, then how could she be singing it? Unless... No. I am suddenly so exhausted. As are you, no doubt? Quickly then, to bed with you.
Are you injured?
Dedue, saving the day again?
Apologies.
I'm the one who owes you an apology. You've saved my life how many times now? If I keep being so callous, I'll seem ungrateful.
No matter.
But...
I'm accustomed to it.
I'm sorry, Dedue.
Why?
Because the way I speak to you is unnecessarily harsh. The truth of it is, I lost someone very dear to me in Dusker. The punishment came swift to your people, and when I heard of the slaughters, well, I thought it was a punishment well earned. I thought the people cruel and heartless, deserving of the tragedy that ultimately befell them. But you're different. You seem nothing like the people of whom I speak. So why not speak back against how I and so many others feel? Why not question this unfair prejudice and tell me I haven't the right to hold a grudge against you? If you just speak to me, if you tell me the truth about all of this.
I do not know the truth of it myself. His Highness says the tragedy was not the fault of my people, but just like anywhere, there were many different people in Dusker, some very good, and others very bad. It is not unimaginable that some may have conspired to take part in that wickedness. Perhaps we are merely victims, or perhaps we are regicidal monsters.
Whatever the truth of it is, you are not to blame. The people I hate are the ones who are responsible for that whole mess. You just got caught up in all of it.
Ingrid.
You've rushed to my side. You've saved me countless times. I am sorry for how I've treated you. Truly.
If you think of me as your ally, that will suffice. For me, that is enough.
Why, Lenato? Oh, hey Felix.
I suppose your thoughts are still with Lord Lenato.
I'm fine. I'm just frustrated by how little I was able to do. I know he was trying to protect me, but Lenato never really told me anything. In the end, I don't think I understood his feelings at all. You said it yourself. Be more moderate in your passions. To me, he always seemed like a knight out of a story. And I was so caught up in my ideals, I turned a blind eye to his sadness, his hatred, even when they were right in front of me. I guess I'm pretty far from real knighthood, huh?
Perhaps. Yet knowing someone well does not mean you know how they feel, whether family or friend. To know someone's sorrow and turn blindly from it, that is the act of a fool. But pursuing your ideals is not foolish.
But before, you said...
I said to be moderate in your passions, not to abandon your ideals. It's okay to be who you are.
Thank you. Hearing you say that means a lot.
Ah, I almost forgot. You lent me this.
Oh, the book I lent you. I'm guessing you hated it?
Actually, I already knew the story. My brother used to read it to me all the time.
Must have dug up some old feelings, then.
I suppose.
That's just what I'd expect the knight in the story to say. It's not just the way you talk either. It's who you are as a person, deep down.
Well, I think you're like the squire in the book. He's only half a knight, but he's bold and gregarious. And he always does his best. Don't stop being that half-knight, okay?
You got it. I'll become the kind of knight only I can be.
Okay, now that you know the technique, go ahead and solve this problem.
Ah, I've got it. Finally.
See? Isn't it fun to learn?
Absolutely. You're great at this, you know. You really seem to have all the answers. I wish I could study and just soak up knowledge like you. How did you get so good at this?
Well, studying was something of a necessity for me.
What do you mean?
My father was one of the king's knights. One day, he never returned home. He just left without ever saying a word to me or my mother.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Losing a father so suddenly? I completely understand.
After he left, I thought a lot about where he might have gone. My father was a devout believer, so I was certain he must have come here, to Garreg Mach.
Here? Really?
That's why I was determined to gain acceptance into the academy. I needed to come here so I could search for my father. The problem was that I needed money to get in. Lots of it. And I didn't have any at all. So I entered the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad first, hoping I could somehow find a path here. I studied tirelessly until I finally earned myself a recommendation.
Oh, wow. So for you, studying has been like a way to meet your destiny.
Destiny, huh? Well, yes, but it's a bit embarrassing when you put it like that. Now I have other reasons for wanting to keep trying hard. I want to protect all of my friends and allies here. I'm studying hard so I can be as useful as possible to everyone I hold dear.
You've worked so hard. I really respect that. I'm going to follow your example. Hello, Catherine. I thought I might find you here.
Is there something I can do for you, Ash?
Yes. Could you tell me what you know about this?
This is quite an old letter. Where'd you find it?
It was found in the bishop's room during the inquiry of the Western Church.
I see. It's one of the documents you collected.
This letter mentions my brother, Christoph Gaspar, by name. He was executed by the church for allegedly taking part in the tragedy of Duscur. I know you were the one who turned him over. But this letter isn't about that. It's about a plot to assassinate Lady Rhea. If my brother's name is in here, that means this plot predates the tragedy. So there was another plot against Lady Rhea in the past, and my brother was somehow involved.
Ah.
I can tell by your face that you know something. Tell me, Catherine. Please, I deserve to know.
Kristoff was a good man. Maybe too good. It wasn't in his nature to mistrust people. So when the Western Church told him that Lady Rhea had to die for the goddess's sake, or the world's, he went along with it.
Just how well did you know my brother?
Kristoff and I were friends. We were in the Blue Lion House together at the Academy.
If you were friends, why did you hand him over to be executed? There must have been another way.
No. If there was another option, I'd have chosen it. But he was foolish. He went along with the plan to assassinate Lady Rhea. I wasn't motivated by a personal grudge. I had no choice but to turn him in, that much is true.
I can't believe that my brother would try to assassinate Lady Rhea. But if he did, that means the church was lying about his involvement in the tragedy of Duscur, doesn't it?
Lying is a strong word. The world was in chaos, and the church did what it had to. If people had known about the threat to Lady Rhea's life, the panic would only have worsened.
So you're saying everything in this letter is true?
You can choose what to believe. All I know is I let him die, and that's something I can never change. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Catherine, wait! Please!
Apologies for my late arrival, Mercedes. My duties ran long, as per usual.
There's no need to apologize at all. Please, have a seat. We've met for tea so many times, but you never seem to get used to it, do you, Ingrid?
Not entirely, no. I'm not accustomed to being treated so delicately. Anyway, what will we talk about today?
I actually wanted to gripe about something that's been bothering me.
You? Gripe? Now that's unusual. I'm happy to listen, of course. It's the least I can do after all the kindness you've shown me.
Thank you. The one thing I really wanted to talk about is marriage.
Oh?
Yes. I received a letter from my adoptive father about marriage discussions with a noble family.
And will you accept?
That's the problem. No matter what I decide, I'll probably be married off anyway. What I really want to do is help those in need. But I think it would be more difficult to do so if I married a nobleman.
Understandably so. Sounds to me like you need a strategy to silence your father.
Sorry? To silence him?
Don't you agree? It seems the best course of action would be to consider severing all ties with the family and running away.
We don't need to go that far. I'm sorry, I really just needed to let that out. I don't need you to worry about solving my problems.
Oh, okay. It's just a bit personal for me, actually. My own father has brought countless marriage proposals to my attention. He always was obsessed with me carrying on the family bloodline. At a very young age, my hand had already been promised to someone in marriage. But Glenn died young.
That must have been difficult for you. Would you have married him if he had survived?
That's a good question. It's hard to imagine now. Although I did admire him quite a lot. He held true to the ideals of knighthood, proudly serving the king. Even after all these years, I aspire to be the type of knight that he embodied. But that's just it. I'm not a tool for furthering my family's fortunes. I'm a knight at heart, regardless of what my father desires.
I see. A very noble cause indeed. How strange that we should be worrying about the same thing.
Even though we are such different people.
It's true. Enjoying a nice chat over tea with you like this makes me realize maybe the paths we walk aren't so different after all. Don't you think?
I do. These tea parties of ours, they really are something special.
That they are. Ingrid, I would love to get to know you better if that's okay. I want to know about your childhood, your favorite books, the sweets you like, anything at all.
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak with you anytime. And I want to know you better too, Mercedes.
Ingrid?
What's the matter, Annette? You look upset.
I'm just so sorry. I had no idea.
I'm not sure I follow. Take a breath. What's going on?
Well, I was really curious about why you're not interested in things like makeup. So I asked some of our friends about it, and...
Oh, I see. I imagine they mentioned that my family was fairly poor, and they probably also mentioned that I lost my fiancé. Correct?
They did. I'm so sorry. It was thoughtless of me to try pushing those things on you.
It's perfectly fine, Annette. It's true, my family struggled financially. It wasn't easy growing up, but it taught me values I wouldn't have learned otherwise. And we weren't so poor that I consider myself deprived. I'm sure my family would have bought me makeup if I had wanted it, but it never mattered enough to me. Not then, and not now.
Oh, so you just never sought that stuff out?
Never. While I acknowledge it can be fun, fussing over my outward appearance isn't an instinct of mine. When I was younger, I'd usually be found covered in dirt, bugs in my hair, and a big smile on my face. Things haven't changed too much since. Then, when my fiancé passed on, my priorities shifted even further. It reminded me of what's most important in life. Beyond that, it's hard to think of myself changing without him around to see it, even if it's something trivial like how I present myself. But talking to you has helped me realize it's okay to loosen up and enjoy those things if I want. So, thank you.
Me? Oh, I didn't do anything at all. Except pester.
More importantly, do you notice anything different about me today?
Yes. It's very subtle, but I could tell right away that you were using that makeup I gave you.
You could? Oh, that makes me happy. I was trying to apply it just how you showed me.
You did great, and it really suits you.
I think there's a lot I can learn from you, Annette. You've helped me embrace a lighter side of life I quite like.
It's my pleasure. Ooh, this is so great. Want to go shopping to celebrate?
Shopping? But what would we buy? That sounds so overwhelming.
There's a dress I've been eyeing for a while now. I'm certain it will complement your pretty eyes. Just leave it to me, Ingrid. I'll make you the most fabulous knight this world has ever seen.
Well, that does sound fun. I look forward to it.
Good work. Should we call it a day?
Thank you. Yes, let's. Catherine, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you something.
Let me guess. You're going to ask why you're so bad at predicting my attacks.
When I expect an attack from above, you surprise me from below. When I expect a jab, I get a sweep. You seem to anticipate my anticipation.
It's probably because you're a straightforward, honest person. You're reading my movements and trying to calculate what I'll do next.
That has always seemed the most sound strategy when engaging in combat, yes.
Right. Well, I take that anticipation and turn it against you. I use my eyes and the tilt of my sword to mislead you. Catching your opponent off guard is the trick to staying alive in combat. You've got to keep yourself alive if you want to protect Lady Rhea, right?
Your dedication to Lady Rhea's safety is truly inspiring, Catherine.
You flatter me.
My dream is to become a knight and protect my king, no matter the cost. There is no greater purpose I can serve. Although your fealty is sworn to Lady Rhea, You were the ideal knight I aspire to be.
Admire me to your heart's content, but I'm...
Catherine, I'd be honored if you would make me your squire.
My what now? Oh, you're far too straight-laced to be my squire.
However you might judge me, I'm quite serious about this.
All right then, why not? Let's start by teaching you how to flirt with handsome men.
Pardon me? That can't possibly be where you want to start.
Nah, I was just kidding. I wish I knew how to flirt with handsome men. Instead, let's teach you to lighten up.
Ah, understood.
Hey there, Flane. I thought I'd drop by and see if you'd care for a...
Now, just a moment, Sylvain. If you must speak with me, I implore you to do so from where you stand. My apologies if this comes across as rude, but please do not come any closer to me.
Excuse me?
I am sorry. My brother has explicitly warned me not to go near you.
Sedith said that? I bet he also told you any woman who comes too close to me is, how does he say it? Doomed to misfortune?
He used those very words. Is it true then?
Come on. He's just messing with you, obviously.
Of course I would prefer to believe that, but one can never know for certain. Particularly when similar stories are constantly in circulation about you. I have heard that men and women alike have been seduced by your nefarious ways.
I hate to suggest my talents are being oversold, but...
I have heard that you toy with people's emotions, like a cat toys with its prey.
do I really look like such a villain to you?
Well, perhaps not. You do not strike me as much of a charmer.
When you put it like that, I feel like I should defend... Yeah, forget it. Let's get to the actual point.
Did I not tell you, Sylvain? Stay away from me.
It's kind of awkward talking from so far away. Can I please step just a little?
Truly, there are countless terrible stories of your behavior. I've heard that you panic when there aren't women around to flirt with, that you've gone as far as flirting with horses and even chickens.
Oh, come on! Who would even... You should know that your brother has an overactive imagination.
I would like to believe that you are a sincere and reputable person, Sylvain. But there is no smoke without fire. Or so the saying goes.
I may not be the most respectable fellow you'll ever meet, but...
Until I can be certain, please refrain from coming too close to me. Now, if you will excuse me, I must be on my way.
Flame, wait! Come back! And she's gone. All I was trying to do was deliver a message. Flame, hey! The professor said we need to come to the cathedral! I'll run really far ahead so you don't have to walk near me! There, I tried telling her. The professor can't be mad about that.
You don't look busy. Join me for some training, Boar Prince.
And here I thought you had no desire to speak with me.
We don't need to speak to clash swords, do we?
I suppose not. Is that one new? Wait. Where did you get such a blade?
I suppose you would recognize its value. I came upon a merchant selling weapons and found this among the rest of the steel.
That pattern around the edge. There's no doubt. It was forged by Zoltan, the master swordsmith.
I'm not giving it to you.
Huh? Oh, I'm just happy to have laid eyes on it. I don't suppose you'd allow me the chance to hold it.
Do you take me for a fool? I'm not letting a brute like you swing it around.
As though I would be careless with something so valuable.
I recall when you were 9 years old, you swung a sword so hard you snapped it clean in two.
Come now, that was so long ago. I'm hardly the fool I was then.
So you say. Yet House Fraldaria still told that story for years.
What's wrong, Felix?
How pointless. No use talking about someone who's long dead. Looking at your face is making me angry. I'm going to find a different training partner. Farewell, your beastliness.
What is going on with him?
Hey there. At it again, are we? It feels like I see you training here every day.
It's my daily routine. I'm ill at ease until I've held a weapon in my grasp.
You said the same thing when you were little.
Right you are. I've been meaning to come and talk to you properly for a while now.
I was about to say the same thing. How long has it been? A decade? More? That was in Ferdiad, as I recall. You were just a little pipsqueak. You really have grown up, haven't you?
I'm not sure it was quite that long ago, not really. But it matters not. I remember those times well. Particularly your first words to me. Look at that young maiden wielding a giant lance. How adorable.
Oh, don't look at me like that. I was thrown off by your haircut, that's all.
It's all water under the bridge. Now, back then I was quite furious about it.
My father did give me a stern reprimand for speaking so rudely to a prince. But then, I never had a chance to apologize. I was always getting into trouble back then, just like the incident in Dusker.
Speaking of, do you ever think about going back to House Karen? Do you, Cassandra?
No, I'm happy with the life I have. No offense, Your Highness, but I don't fight for king and country anymore. I fight for Lady Rhea.
It doesn't bother you? Being labeled a criminal?
You're worried about my life as a fugitive from the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. Don't worry about me. I'm here because I want to be. It suits me far better than the life I'd otherwise lead, as a noble lady of the kingdom.
Is that so?
How about you? You've never wanted to roam free? To enjoy life as an ordinary knight, unshackled from all those princely obligations.
I can't say the thought has never crossed my mind. However, I am the son of a king. It's not possible for me to put my own desires before the good of the kingdom.
Ah, you're too serious for your own good. How'd you become such a stiff?
Don't worry, I've been working on that. Stretching is a part of my daily routine.
If you can joke about it, there's hope for you yet.
Sylvain, I want to apologize for the other day.
The other day? What are you talking about, Felix? Is this a trap?
You know, when I called you insatiable.
Oh, that? Can't say it didn't hurt, but you have nothing to apologize for. I mean, you've said worse, Felix. Considerably worse. Come on, we've known each other since we were kids. We're not gonna let your constant verbal abuse get in the way of our friendship, are we?
No, I suppose not.
Whenever I started doing something dumb, you'd yell at me about it.
And whenever you dragged me into something, Ingrid would find out and start lecturing us.
All these years and not much has changed, has it? But you're different, Felix. You used to be so, I don't know, carefree when we were young. Now you're the exact opposite.
Well, you're not any different. Good for nothing then, good for nothing now.
Again with the abuse. This from the guy who's always been by that good-for-nothing side. So, did you come to apologize or to insult me?
I was on my way to train and I saw you. That's all.
You're off to train again? Now who's insatiable?
Better than sitting idle like you.
A little idleness would do you some good, pal. Come on, let me buy you something to eat.
No.
You have to choose, Felix. Our friendship or your training?
My training. Goodbye for now.
What did... is he... Wait, Felix, I'll come train too. Wait up.